I don't know if I got nobody on here yet. I got Ashley W. Finally was able to catch her, and we gonna try to get this thing going, man. Try to have a little discussion about this subject. One of my subjects I find really interesting, dealing with fault versus responsibility, and so let me go ahead and reach out to her, cause so give me a second. I don't know. I emailed it to her, but I don't know if she joined in yet. So let me see.
Hello.
Yo.
Yep. Yep.
All right. All right. Finally, man. I had to work some magic on that one. Uh, I guess I'm introducing to some, and what's the word? Hold on. I probably got an echo. Let me take this.
Yeah, I just had to take mine off speaker.
I guess I'm introducing the song, and damn, I forgot the phrase. But maybe you heard of her, maybe you haven't. Ashley W, new YouTuber. She's really a lot of people rock with her, both black men and women. Uh, Real interesting perspective. I like this sister's channel. Intelligent, from out of Chicago. I'm gonna let her introduce her. Tell us about herself. But just a great sister as far as just from what I've seen on this channel, on her channel, she's really came in the last. How long have you had a channel? About 2 or 3 months?
About since October.
Yeah. So I mean, just what, let's say a little about 5 months maybe. But she's really came in, and really, a lot of people are, excited about a lot of things. And she actually holds women accountable, but she don't pull punches with the brothers too, which is that's me and her are very similar in that way, in that regard. So this is Ashley W, and I just wanted to, introduce her to everybody. So first of all, the first question I wanted to ask you is tell us about yourself, where you're from, and why did you start your channel?
Well, this is weird. I don't like talking about myself like that. Well, but I am from Chicago. I pretty much started my channel because other YouTubers kind of like influenced me to say, hey, like I have a voice. I think my voice is pretty relevant. I think I make whole lot of sense. Why not try it?
Okay. Okay. Good logic. Good logic. And what side are you on? The north, south, east, west? Which side of Chicago are you really from?
I am on the south side.
South side of Chicago.
Yep.
So is Chicago as bad as they say? Like, is it the war zone or what?
I don't think so. Not to me, it isn't. Like, it hasn't been to me. Like from my experiences, like I've never seen anybody get shot. I've never seen anybody get shot at. I've never seen anybody get robbed or mugged. Like I don't see it. I almost never see it.
Are
But
you
people
from the
say it's
hood?
bad. Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Okay. All right. So the reason for this hangout is pretty much this is the reason. I personally feel as though there is a problem in the black community. I'm for patriarchy, right?
hmm
And I take it that you are. At least that's what I ascertain as I listen to you. But
hmm
the thing is, there are certain dissenting factions within the black community that will have us to believe that we shouldn't accept responsibility or fault. I mean, of course, those two are different in my mind, but we shouldn't accept responsibility for our community. It's not our job to build. We're not the
hmm
cleanup man. We don't owe the black community shit. There are literally people that feel that way. And I
hmm
just want your thoughts on that.
I mean, like honestly, I think it's garbage. Like it's garbage, it's utter garbage. Like, what do you think is going to be left if you don't think you owe this community anything? What do you think is going to be left for your children? If you say it's bad, how bad? Like, what do you think is going to be in 10 years? What do you think is going to be in 20 years? What do you think is going to be in 50 years? Like, this is why I'm like, do black people want to survive? Do we want to remain on this planet, or do we just want to fall off? Because if we continue down the path that we're going, we're just going to fall all the way off.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play. I'm a guy. I'm a single black man.
hmm
I don't have any kids. Right.
hmm
Uh, I believe in dating white women,
hmm
and I don't really too particularly care for black women because black women have bad attitudes. A lot of them are overweight. A lot
hmm
of them have kids by Pookie and Ray Ray.
hmm
So why should I come in and play Zorro and play the hero over somebody who's really wasted their lives?
How about this? How about nobody said that you had to? How about you you built black people need to understand that us building something doesn't just mean us getting black men getting married to the single mothers. It's creating businesses. It's creating something that, hey, maybe possibly you can be a mentor to those kids. Maybe possibly you can employ some of those guys and you can be that positive influence for them. It's about something else. It's not just about you raising some kids that's not yours. And honestly, if you want to date white women, if we want to go there, let's talk about that. You do realize in about a generation or two, your black behind and all of your family and your bloodline is going to cease to exist because from my experiences, most mixed children tend to marry and have children by white people.
Okay.
So all that black that you had that you was convinced was going to stay around, no, it's gone, and now your great great grandchildren are going to be white. They're gonna look at you. You're gonna walk in like, who's this Negro? Because that's what it's about to be. Keep thinking you're
Mm.
about to demolish racism with that if you want. And that, as a matter of fact, chances are, in the generation that like the next generation, yeah, black behind probably won't even be allowed to come around anymore. Like, let's
But
be real.
let me ask you this then.
Mhm.
What if I really don't give a shit? All I want to do is live my life and be happy.
And look, that's cool, and that's why we keep losing because we just want to live our life and be happy. I don't want to be bothered with this, and I'm just want to be me. I just want to have fun. I just want to, just want to be me. I just want to live how I want to live, and this is what's happening.
Oh, okay.
This is why
Okay.
we're in this situation because everybody just wants to have fun.
Well, I agree. I think if you're going to do that, then shut the fuck up. Stop
Right,
bitching. If you're going to date white women, go date your white women and shut the hell up. If
right.
it's black men out here that want to build, shut up and get the hell out of the way. Let us build. Stop stop coming around bitching and you want to try to date white women or go to overseas and get your woman overseas or whatever you want to do. When I say overseas, I'm talking about non-black. Now, those that want to date black women, they believe in black women, just not American black women. What will you say to them?
That's fine. You probably need it. That's fine. They probably have a little bit more home training, so they fine.
I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna say this. I think that economically, you can't, if you're going to build economically, and if you really say you care about your community, you can't really shit on black women, American black women. You just can't. Like there's just no way I can hate black, to buddy and feel free because this is your interview, but I'm just adding something. I just think that women, as much as it's because I know one of the biggest things, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate again. One of the biggest things people always say is, well, I don't mind being with black women. I think they're the most beautiful. I do. I mean, most black men know that black women are the most beautiful women on earth. But at the end of the day, the problem is black women, a lot of them have babies out of wedlock. Why would I fuck with a woman that got babies out of wedlock? I mean, and what would you say to that?
Again, nobody said you had to. Well, who said you had to?
Yeah, but I mean, shit. I mean, when we talk about, no, what I'm saying is when we talk about the community and we talk about building within the black community and leaving a legacy, that means that someone who's living like I got a 2-year-old son, right? So that means that some wealth is going to have to be left to him, but he's my son, so that's my responsibility. Right. But if let's say I'm dead in a car accident, right? He got some money. I got him set up, but let's just say he didn't. Let's say I ain't got my shit together. I died in a car accident and his mom has to meet another guy. His mom's educated. She's a high earning, she's not a hood rat. Should she be, I mean, look, a child out of wedlock is a strike. Even if the guy's dead. Well, I hate to say that, but that's the way it works. A man is not going to look at a child out of wedlock and be, oh, okay, well, that's great. Like, no, that's a problem. But should a woman, I guess what I'm really getting at is, should a woman be held to a higher standard than a man? Because unless you've had unprotected sex, unless you haven't had unprotected sex, you can't really talk greasy. The Bible says, let him without sin cast the first stone. How you going to throw a woman under the bus? Because every time you put your penis in a woman, be it with a condom or not with a condom, it's like putting a bullet in a revolver and spinning it around and then pulling the trigger, hoping that the bullet wasn't in the chamber and it blew your brains out. Like you just playing Russian roulette every time you have sex with a woman, especially unprotected.
That's why I keep saying, like, look, at the end of the day, I as a man, and I as a man, I'm not a man. I as a woman and you as a man know that if we lay down, have sex with each other, protected or unprotected, there is a chance that pregnancy could be the result. Period. There is nothing else to talk about. If a child is the result of that union, those people have a duty to that child to take care of it. Period.
Well, what if I say, well, man, that's her fault. I ain't tell her to have that baby.
But you probably didn't tell her not to either.
But even if I told her not to, if she chooses to have the child, I probably, when I had control of the situation, was when I was fucking. I'm just gonna I'm gonna get raw tonight.
I know. I already know where you're getting. I already know where you're going.
I had a couple of shots of Absolute. I had a couple of shots of Absolute. I'm sorry, it's starting to kick in. I'm getting a little bionic tonight, so I'm gonna just say what I feel. Right? If you're gonna put your dick in a woman unprotected, or even if you got a condom on it and shit break or however, and she just happen to get pregnant, you probably can't talk shit and tell this woman not to have this child, because this is my mindset. You telling that woman to go kill a baby. That's what you really telling her. Kill the child. And that's how a woman's gonna look at it. I'm a man. So ever since I've been a kid, I knew I wasn't gonna ever get pregnant. So I never even gave it or entertained that thought. Mm-hmm. But if I were a woman in that situation, even if the guy told me not to have the child, you do realize that you are killing a human being. Not only are you, because what they do is they go in and puncture his brain, his or her brain. They shoot some. And I got a 2-year-old son. I can't imagine something like that happening to my son. So you're gonna basically puncture his brain or her brain and kill him. And that is something that I don't see people just being so gung-ho about. I don't blame a female if she say, I don't know if I can go through with this.
So and see, that's where we start running into the problems. Because in my humble opinion, if I come across a dude and he says, hey, dang, we done messed up, you pregnant, I'm not ready to take care of a child right now. And I say to myself, look, I don't really believe in abortion. That's not really me. And I decide to have that child anyways. And to me, I can't put it on him now to take care of a child that he already told me that he wasn't prepared to take care of. He told me he wasn't ready. I chose to do something different. Is that still all him, or is that mostly me? To me, that's me.
I don't think it's all him. I don't think it's mostly you. I think it's both of y'all, because he made that decision when he had sex with you.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's both of us. It's definitely both of us. If I get a woman pregnant, to me, if I decide to do something that you're clearly telling me not to do, you're not ready. But when
did I tell you that? I'm gonna tell you when he should be held, when he shouldn't be held responsible.
When he told you that conversations don't happen, though. That's the problem.
Agreed.
And it happens after the baby.
Y'all have sex and then you get pregnant, then it's on you. But that's the only way it would be on you. That's me. I consider myself an honorable guy. If we haven't had that conversation and me and you have sex, which usually happens, I can't tell you, look, you have my child. Let me tell you something about me. You're not going to have my DNA walking around on this earth, a daughter or a son or whatever, around God knows who. And I'm just around here living my life, and I'm not there. Like, I got my son. There's no way in hell his mama can up and take him to another state or away from me, and I'm not gonna find out what the hell going on with my baby, with my boy. Right. What is going on? Is he being molested? You're not a decent human being in my mind if you don't give a fuck while your DNA is walking around on this earth. You like TLC said, you have a shorty that you don't show love. You a scrub. Like, something's not right with you as a human being. Every animal on the face of this earth, most of them anyway, you can find anomalies, but for the most part, animals take care of their young. Boy. What the fuck? Like, you gonna raise them, have a child, and don't take care of them, be in the child life?
You making me want to pull up this video that I was watching the other day, and I'm gonna take some time out this weekend to watch it. Because, like, it's seriously, I was watching it at work and I couldn't finish it because I started getting emotional. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's too many points in here. I need to take notes. And I couldn't do it at the time. But this young man, and mind you, this was recorded back in 86. This young man was like, he pretty much just said that, I don't care, not verbatim, but he pretty much said, I don't care what happens to these kids. If I'm not around, I don't care. It's not my responsibility to take care of these children. That's what he said. We have to understand that a lot of people were raised with that mindset. A lot of people think that it's cool to just walk away. I'm not ready, so I can just walk away. It's cool because I could just walk away. What's really going to happen to me? What, you going to put me on child support? All I got to do is not work, and I'm not going to have to pay. What are they going to do? Throw me in and out of jail? Clearly, I don't give a damn about my life because I'm not even willing to work. So clearly, it's not affecting me. I don't care. The men that actually have stuff to lose, they do care. They do take care of their children. They're not going for all of that. They're not doing that. And that's what I keep trying to say. The men that give a two darns about their kids are not just out here walking away. Because guess what? That man cares about himself. He cares about his seed walking around on this earth, being taken care of and being provided for. He cares about that. The men that don't give a crap about themselves are willing to walk away. They could care less.
So I'm starting to get a picture as I'm talking to you that it's really not about accepting responsibility versus accepting the blame, more so than it's about being a bitch versus being a man. Like,
Yeah. People,
because I
and
think,
like I said, it goes both ways because, like I said, if I, as a woman, does something, if I do something, and if I say, hey, it wasn't me, it was you, but I know good and well I'm responsible for a good majority of it. And I'm just saying that it's you, and I'm not willing to say I didn't do anything. That's why, like when I say about my situation,
no,
I can't.
I think women have a responsibility. I mean, you gonna carry the child, so you locked in. But the thing is, with the man, I can tell you I don't want that child, but
Mhm,
I like if I got a woman pregnant, say I got a jump off, right? Somebody I don't
mhm,
care nothing about. We getting
mhm,
it in, right? And me and her, she mess around and get pregnant.
mhm,
Oh well, fuck it. I mean, if she choose, I'm gonna tell her, hey, I don't want to do this or whatever. I don't believe in abortion anyway. But let's say I did,
mhm.
right? I'm gonna tell her I don't want to do this. If she chooses to have that child, God done it, I'm gonna be there. There will not be a situation where you are my seed. And I know a guy who, and I'm not gonna get into it too much, but I know a guy who has a son who is his spitting image. Is his spitting image. This boy looked just like him. This nigga got another child by another woman, and he raising that child. He cut hair every time you go around him. He got the baby. He out there doing his thing. He got the picture of the baby up there. He loved that child to death. But the
Mhm,
child that looked just like him,
mhm.
that was actually his older son. He don't want to have nothing to do with him. He don't want. And the mama was like, "Look, I'm not gonna put you on child support. I just want you to be in his life." This little boy was talking about he's probably not serious, but he's talking about killing himself. He's like,
No,
10,
he's
11 years
serious.
old.
He's serious.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody
People
loves
need
me.
to stop. People need to start taking these kids very, very seriously when they say stuff like that. They really do. These kids are out here killing themselves at that age. I was reading a story about some little, I think she was a 10-year-old. I was reading that some 10-year-old was getting bullied online and the little girl went home and killed herself at 10. A baby. You don't know anything about life and you already ready to kill yourself. It's deep. It happens. I know it does. People need, I hope they're listening to him. I really do.
Yeah, he every time he gets into a situation, sometimes he says that or he locked himself. He just does certain things that makes you feel like, okay, this little boy is
He needs help. He
dealing
needs
with
help.
this. He has other issues as well,
He
but I
probably
just
should be
feel
in
like
therapy.
the biggest problem is all he wants is love from his dad. If his dad had
Yeah.
and what made it more fucked up, what made it even more messed up was the father, she introduced him to him. He sat there and talked to him. Now, this little boy looks up at this guy and sees himself like he has to,
Right. Right.
right? So he's like, okay, this is my father. And he hasn't talked to him since. See, when I hear dudes say, well, man, it's on her. She chose to have the child. That shit ain't that easy, man. So for the next 20 years, that little boy gonna start asking questions to his mama. Mama, where's my daddy? Mama, this, that, this. Well, she chose to do that. Look, I'm sorry. You's a weak nigga to me. When I hear niggas say shit like that, you's a whole ass nigga and you need your ass whooped. I'm just
I
keep it
agree.
real. Like you can't. So that's what I'm saying. Not only that. Now I agree with you. We agree on that. And shout out to everybody that's probably, if I have somebody in the comment section or not, I don't know because I'm not looking at it because my battery's going to die and I'm on my phone. If you look at it, you'll see 2 sub-zeros in the bottom because I'm not really sitting in front of my laptop. I just hooked up on the laptop. But the point I'm trying to make is this. When I hear people say stuff like, well, I mean, I'm not going to be with a woman that's got kids. And I think we touched on this a little bit earlier, but to me, and I just want your insight on this. I can't say that. It's like this. We'll give a nigga that went to jail, we'll give that nigga some grace.
Right.
And we'll talk about, Michelle Alexander's, the new Jim Crow and how our penal system and how the justice system is all twisted, and they go and they're targeting black men from third grade. They decide where they're gonna build, the prison pipeline, the school to prison pipeline. We talk about that, and there ain't too many black folks that'll argue with you on that. It's really not. There are actually more black people that will argue with you on the school to prison pipeline. Probably, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna go that far. But I'm gonna put it like this. I think people are willing to give a lot of brothers that have been in prison grace, and I think they deserve it. I think a lot of times if you did something at 17 and you haven't had your record expunged, you don't need to be 35 years old still having to deal with that shit. That's fucked up. And we need to do something about that. But on the same token, right? That guy was 17, he did something. It could be something as heinous as getting a gun, and I know some dudes this happened to, went and robbed a damn 7-Eleven, went and took a gun and walked in a 7-Eleven and robbed that bitch, right? Got locked up, did 3 years, right? Those dudes are normal dudes. You see them now, you would never think they ever been in prison ever, right?
Right.
They got to wear a scarlet letter for the rest of their life.
Right.
That's the same thing. In fact, those brothers probably get a lot more credit than a woman who was 16, 17, right? In school, in high school, she sees the starting quarterback of the football team, a starting point guard. He's the number one ranked player in the state. She has sex with the guy once or twice. Then one day he takes the condom off because he's 17. He thinks he knows everything. Next thing you know, she's pregnant. She doesn't know that this guy at 30 is going to be a lazy, trifling ass, sorry nigga that's not going to really raise his children. So she chooses to have the child, right? So now this woman ain't shit. In a lot of guys' minds, she's not shit for the rest of her life because she had a child. You see what I'm saying? That's what I see a lot of on YouTube. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of brothers that'll say, well, she's a single mother. She wait a minute. And I love Jason Black. He doesn't make any distinction. Any woman that has any child out of wedlock is a hood rat baby mama. You're just as equal to Boom Quisha. There's no distinction between Boom Quisha and a single mother who got a child at 16 or 19 or, whatever. First time she had sex, got pregnant because the guy didn't know what he was doing, and she had the child. The nigga turned out to be a damn Madden king, as Tommy Sotomayor would put it. Right? He all he wants to do is play video games and sit around and not do nothing. What's your take on that situation?
One that is situational. And I think a lot of the things that when good dudes, when they say some of that type of stuff, I think it's the behavior after the children that they're having problems with. It's not necessarily that you have a child that they have a problem with. It's that, you put your child in front of everybody. Nothing wrong with that, because I get it. Like, as a woman, like, we're not married. My child is important to me, but also if I'm call myself out here trying to date, trying to be in a serious relationship, I also have to understand that my child kind of needs to fall back sometimes. Like, if I can't take her with me all the time, she can't go on every date, like that sort of thing. If he's trying to take me somewhere, I do have to try to make myself available to a certain degree. If I have
hold on, Ashley, hold on. I think most of the brothers I hear, they're saying that the black woman fucked up the community because a lot of black women have children out of wedlock.
No, I'm talking about, like, I'm getting to the behavior. It's like, not only that, like, just not like you have the kid, and not only did you have that one kid, now you got a couple kids. Not only after you had that one baby by that one knucklehead, you went and had multiple babies by multiple knuckleheads. Not only did you have a baby when you were a child, you decided to not do anything with your life and stay in the hood. I got up and did something, and you let a baby stop you when you didn't have to. Because I know plenty of people, plenty of women that have children and then got their stuff just said, hey, this child is not going to stop me from pursuing my dreams. This child is not going to stop me from enhancing myself. And some women don't enhance themselves, but they want that good guy.
Wait a minute, because I'm gonna unpack this a little bit. There are a lot of single moms that I live in Atlanta, like the Black Mecca. So I see a lot of single moms that are doing damn good. They got their
I mean,
education.
there's exceptions.
No. Let me get the point out. There are a lot of Black women that make money that are doing okay economically, but they're also not. Let me put it like this: a lot of guys will disqualify those single moms as well. It's not like they'll say, okay, well, yes, she had a child at 17, but she finished college. She went ahead and got her career going. That's the sister I would probably say, okay, well, let me see how her head is. Is she cool? Is she? A lot of brothers be like, well, fuck that. I ain't finna. Look, let me say this right. This is not a testimonial or a infomercial for me to campaign for you to go out there and save single moms from their fuckery. Okay. Don't take it that way. Don't come in the comment section saying no crazy shit like that, because that's not what neither one of us are saying. Okay. What we're saying is that if you're gonna say something, be 100 about it. Like, at least, look, if you had unprotected sex, don't talk shit about a woman. It's just like, just because there was a bullet in the chamber when she did it, or when she got pregnant, don't talk shit because there wasn't one in your chamber. It's like, you get what I'm saying? It's like we reaching into a hat, pulling numbers or drawing straws.
It easily happened to you.
Yeah, we're drawing straws, and you just so happen to get the right straw where you were lucky, but she got the wrong straw and she got, a child, and now you talking shit. Now, am I saying the only guys that I know that can really talk shit are either virgins or every time they didn't have sex, they at least had a condom on. Then you can talk shit. You can actually talk. But if most guys I know that were in serious relationships with a woman, don't lie like that. Don't even lie like damn well you ain't get your ass up and run to the store every time to get some condom. Most of the time, and we as Black people, we love to FUX. We gonna do what we gotta do. So that don't even lie like, okay, well, I just, but even still, because I'm just, that could be any woman. And every woman's not going to kill the child. Am I making an excuse for a woman to go and pop out 30 kids and fuck up the community and be on welfare Section 8 and have a bunch of damn killers and criminals out here that all us got to deal with? Hell no. That's not what I'm supporting.
But again, like I was saying though, but like it's a lot of the things that comes after it. Like I said, like some of those single women in Atlanta, okay, they got their stuff together and they could have the type of attitude, well, you're not where I'm at, I don't want you. They can have the type of attitude like, okay, you can come in here, we're nice, we're cool, but I'm gonna let my child talk to you in kind of way. I'm not gonna let you discipline my child. I'm not gonna let you do anything. You can't say anything to them, and then I'm gonna put them in front of you because they're my child. That's it. And like, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to always put my child first. Even if we got married, I'm going to tell you I'm going to put my child first. I'm telling you that it's still going to be all about us. It's still going to be all about us. I'm not going to have any sort of consideration for you. And I think that that's the problem. Like, a lot of single mothers don't really understand that if you're going to be in that dating arena, there are certain things that you just have to come to grips with. Men that's okay with you having children are okay with it because they like you. It's not a big deal to them. And a lot of the times where the problems come in, again, it's like, when a lot of the reasons, I think a lot of men are a little bit, some of them might be a little bit hurt. Maybe they've tried to deal with single mothers before and they've gotten the exact experience that I've just described. So now they don't want to go back there. Even if they meet somebody that might be decent, oh my gosh, I've already experienced that and it wasn't a good look. I didn't like the way it feel, so on and so forth. I personally don't. I get what you're saying, that like you can't really crap on her like that, and I agree. But at the same time, like, I can't really crap on you for not wanting to date a single mother. That's your prerogative. Like, because when
I
I
mean,
didn't
it
have
is. It
any,
is.
when I didn't have when I didn't have children, it was very difficult for me to date men with children because I didn't know how to relate to children.
Well, not
I
only that,
honestly
I mean,
didn't feel like I knew how to relate.
yeah,
Now
no,
it's a
I
little
don't.
bit different.
Let me clean that up a little bit. I don't want to say that every guy is somehow a weak man if you don't want to date a woman. No, don't take it like that. I wasn't there saying that. I was just saying that when we start talking and placing the blame versus accepting responsibility as it pertains to that, a
Mhm.
lot of guys will blame black single moms for fucking up everything in the black community. And a lot of guys don't want to accept responsibility accept responsibility that a lot of us as men laid down and didn't do shit. Like we fell asleep on the job. A lot of us did. And I think I hold men at a higher standard than I hold women. I don't expect women to lead. I don't expect women to build. That's not they're not built. They're not cut from that cloth. We are. And I think we still can. And I see in us, there are a lot of strong, intelligent brothers on YouTube, brothers that can bring a lot of enterprise, a lot of business. There's some it's a hell of a lot of brothers out here that got something good going for them that could probably bring something to the equation. So I'm not
Mhm.
shitting on all black men, but I just think that, we need that kick in the ass a little bit. We need to be told that, hey, we dropped the ball in the community. I mean, people will go back and say, hey, man, black women, it was because of feminism and they got with the government and they did. Yeah, and really, that wasn't our fault per se because of racism, white supremacy. I'll agree with that. I mean, there was a lot of things that held the black community back unfairly. It wasn't our fault. See, that's why you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, this
I'm
is
not
why I say
talking
it's
about
both.
fault.
This
I'm
is
talking
why I
about
say it's everybody.
responsibility.
This is why I say it's everybody because I feel like this. If you're saying that the black women did all of this and did all of this, the kids and blah blah blah, that whatever. Okay, cool. You're probably right, but you always have to ask, well, where were their dads? And then that's when other conversations start opening up. And that's when it's like it starts turning into something deeper. Like, is this something generational? Is this something like what really happened with these people? What happened to these men? Like, that's when it starts getting into a deeper conversation that people just don't have these days. People don't have these types of conversations unless until after the fact. Like I said, like I feel like a lot of people don't have conversations about what we're gonna do about the children, how are we gonna plan for these children until after the children get here. Nobody says, oh, well, I should have done this different until after the children get here. And we have to start getting to a point where first we see single parenthood as a dysfunctional thing in the first place. Even being a single parent, I say it's dysfunctional because I understand that whether I have a son or a daughter, I can't give that child everything that they need because I'm only a female. I only have feminine energy. My children need masculine energy in their lives. I'm only one person. I don't have enough time to give my child the amount of energy and the amount of time that she needs. Period. And as long as we're saying as women, oh, it's okay, because I know women to this day that will say, I don't need a man to help me take care of my kids. I'm cool. I can do it by myself. No, you can't. But they think that they can. So we continue to push this dysfunction. We continue to have men that will say, "Oh, yes, you can. I turned out okay. You can raise a child by yourself." So, and to me, that says if I get a woman pregnant, I can walk away because my mama allowed my daddy to walk out and it was okay because my mom just showed me this strong and that she can do it. So I think any woman can do it. All women aren't built like that. All women can't take care of kids by themselves. All women don't want to. Some women can take their responsibility and their blame in certain situations and say, hey, I messed up. He messed up. I'm holding him 100% responsible and accountable, but for his part in it, but I'm holding myself equally responsible as well. And those are the single mothers that men should be trying to get with. If you're going to get with one with some sense about her. Get with one that's not gonna say it's only about me. Like if I'm inviting you into my life, I have to make sure that you feel welcomed. Period. My
That
child
reminds me.
has to make sure you feel welcomed.
That reminds me of this female that was on Facebook. I'm not gonna say her name. Beautiful. When I say, I mean, this chick was beautiful, right? And she had a son. He was about 8, 9. When I tell you she had a line of brothers, she didn't have no problem getting a man. And I think that's the thing that I think we talked about that earlier, about a lot of brothers are hypocritical in that they'll say they don't want that. But if you find a woman that looks like, I don't know, Vanity from back, I just watched a few Vanity videos. Vanity.
Back in the day reference.
Vanity was the truth. If you don't know about Vanity Brothers, go watch The Last Dragon, the movie. She was that female. Like, and Prince gave her that name. She was ridiculously beautiful. But you got women that look like that, and brothers brothers are dating these women. So
of course,
women with kids don't have a shortage of brothers that'll date them. I think that's not the issue. I think if you're gonna date a woman, you're gonna be like, if I date a woman and she got kids, I'm gonna have to accept that responsibility if I do that. Now, do I choose? And I'm gonna say this for shout out to Don Calypso, because I know he'll probably hear this one day, read this, listen to it and feel like I'm trying to condone that educated brothers go out here and be, stepdaddies. No.
And that's not
that's not what. No. If you can find I got a son. I'm gonna tell my son, look, man, get you a woman that ain't got no kids. Get you, now if he comes home with a woman that got kids, I'll accept it. But I'm gonna know off the top, that's a burden. That's a ready-made family. That's responsibility that he has to take. Any woman that hears this video needs to understand that when you chose to have that child out of wedlock, that was a strike against you. I don't give a damn how fat your ass is. I don't give a damn how pretty you are, how beautiful you are. Beautiful you are. I'm drunk as hell. Anyway, I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't even care how good your attitude is. You have a great attitude. You be supportive. You can tell that man, I believe in you, baby. You can go out here. You can do this. You can, I believe you. I'm going to support you. Whatever you want done, I'm going to come home. I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean. I'm going to make sure that you don't have to worry about a damn thing. And it's women that talk like that, right? But then if you got a kid, it's still a strike against your ass. I don't give a damn. Like, it just is. Because guess what? That child has a father. And that father, if he's in that child's life, me and him have to have some sort of understanding.
Right.
And not every nigga is going to be a mature, selfless individual that's going to understand that, what, I love her. I mean, I love my child, but, his mom married this guy and my child has to respect this guy and understand that that's his house.
Right.
That take a grown man to say some shit like that. Most dudes, man, let me know if that nigga get wrong.
Right.
So, you got a lot of brothers in prison because of that shit. Dealing with I just watched T. Ali had a son.
That's where it's clear that we lack a lot of maturity with these sorts of situations. Because, like I've said this before, I feel like a lot of men wouldn't be on child support if they simply said, hey, what do I need to do? They don't even ask. They don't say nothing, so they don't feel like they need to do nothing. The baby mama's like, look, I don't want to ask you for anything. I feel like you should do it. And since you don't want to do it, and I'm not about to beg you to take care of your kids, so I'm just going to take you to court.
But see, now we getting into a real crucial point, right? A brother that accepts responsibility for his community and for his situation is going to have a plan. And we talked about that earlier. That was the very first thing I talked to you about, was having a plan. If you're a black man in America, damn it, you better have a plan.
But like I said, everybody doesn't believe that. And we're so damaged that a lot of people don't even think that far ahead. A lot of people can't even think past next week. A lot of people can't even plan past this year, let alone 18 years from now. What the heck is my child going to do when it's time for them to fly free, or whatever you want to call it? Most people don't even think that far ahead. And it's like I was saying
Yeah.
the other day, it's like we're asking a lot of our people to make leaps and bounds when they haven't even like to start just sprinting when they haven't even started crawling yet for real, for real. And that's a
Mm.
lot of us. A lot of us didn't have good role models. A lot of us didn't have, and even if we did, and this is why I keep saying like a lot of us do foul stuff, and I really don't even think we know that we doing it. Like I really don't because it's just too common. And like I hear people that will say that they're good people doing the same things. I see people that hang out on the street do, but you sitting up here acting like you better than somebody. But you're doing the
But
same
yeah,
thing.
I'm gonna
Saying
tell
the
you now.
same thing.
You got like you got niggas on the street that'll say I ain't my responsibility to raise them kids. Fuck that. I ain't. She tried to trap me. Yes, she got pregnant. Da, da, da. Then you got a nigga with an education on YouTube in the comment section saying the same thing. Like
Right.
not your responsibility. Like well, you fucked her. You got her pregnant. You nutted in her. You got her pregnant, so you have to raise that child. So I think it goes both ways. I actually think that Pookie and Ray Ray is actually probably a little bit more grounded than the educated individual because Pookie and Ray Ray ain't out there talking about how good they are and how they're the cream of the crop.
You already know they ain't
But
nothing.
not, yeah, they know they. I'm a street
That's
nigga. I
that's
am what I
assumed.
am. There's a certain causality in that, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the individual that went to whatever university and has the degree and even has the income, but
Mhm.
you refuse to be a father, well then it's a special place in hell for a nigga like that to me.
And look,
And like I
and I'm gonna say this because I said it before, and before I became what before my page became what it is today, I got dragged for saying this, dragged, and I still stand firm in it. So I'm gonna say it again. Any dude that you cannot, to me, in my humble opinion, you cannot call yourself a man if you're not willing to take care of your child, whether you say you wanted it or not. You cannot call yourself a man. How dare you? No man that I know would be okay knowing that his seed is walking around here and not knowing whether or not that child is being taken care of, not knowing what's going on with that child. I don't
hold
know
on,
men
hold
that's
on,
okay with
hold
that.
on, hold on. You made a key point. You said his seed. Well, the problem is we don't think about intergenerational wealth because we're black and we're used to being poor and broke. So conversely, I mean, he wouldn't think like that. That's the
Because
issue.
look, I told my brother that he was setting himself up for failure because I told his girlfriend this too. Y'all setting them kids up for failure because none of y'all neither because one first of all she's not working as far as I know she's still not working. I was paying half these people's rent. You not working, and as a woman you shouldn't even feel comfortable with that. Second, and look, I still would respect my brother in this situation before I respect her. Sad, but whatever. Y'all are setting these kids up for failure because you don't want to work. You don't want to bring nothing in here. So your kids are going to start thinking that it's okay to struggle. It's okay to always have less than. It's okay to never have enough. It's okay to just sit around and just not have anything because I'm just going to keep depending on this man. Look, nobody is saying nobody is saying don't depend on men. Not saying that at all. But if you know that you're in a jacked up situation financially, it is your duty and your responsibility as a woman to help contribute. And
Even the Proverbs 31 woman went out and did real estate training. She's
look,
actually sold land and real estate and spent that money on the house. So
look,
you can't. That's not. I don't know where they get that from. That you just supposed to sit there and ride, even if everything go to hell in the handbasket. You just sit there and ride and don't get out there and get a job or do what you got to do.
this chick told me that me and my children are just going to have to go live in a shelter. And I'm sitting there like, I started to call her out her name because one, I felt like she was being manipulative to my brother because knowing our situation. We've been in homeless shelters. You will not say that to that man and think that he's not going to do whatever it takes, say whatever it takes to keep you in that house. He's going to do that. That's the type of man he is.
Mm.
And women take advantage of men like that. Some of them do. And we have to be honest about that. And like, that's why I say it's like, I can never blame men solely. I can never blame women solely because we're just out here being foolish. And like I said, I was telling them that they're setting them kids up for failure. Y'all setting the kids up. Y'all setting them up. Because if you always struggling, what you gonna have to pass down? What do you have? I was driving today and I'm like, I laughed to myself because her mom is crazy. My daughter got a crazy mama, and I was taught some good things. Hey, when you get older, you want certain stuff, you got to pay for half. Cool. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take your money, but guess what I'm gonna do with it? I'm not gonna spend it. I'm gonna put it in some account somewhere where it can grow. So when you turn 18, you don't have to pay for college maybe. When it's time for you to get a car, how about I say I'm gonna match you? I still take your money, put it in that account. You don't know about it. How about we do what the white people do? You're not ready to move out or out on your own. You can come stay here with me. I'm not going to be in your business. I'm going to let you do what you got to do. You making that good salary and you don't even have to pay that much rent. What are these people doing with all this money? Doing exactly what we're not doing because we're not willing to do that for our children because we can't.
We so excited when they get 18. Don't you ever bring your ass back in this house. That's what a lot of parents say.
Look, that's foolish. My daughter, when my daughter graduate college, I've already decided this. Period. I've already decided this. If my daughter decides, hey, whatever, I need to move home, mom, you're paying rent. You're not actually going to pay rent, but you're just going to pay me something. And like, I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing since she was a child, putting that money up. You're going to be in a better situation financially always than I ever was. You will never have to struggle if I have anything to do with it.
But that's what parenting is about. And you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I believe my views would have been a little different if I didn't have a son myself.
Yeah, once you start having children, when you're responsible.
Yeah, when I didn't have my son at 22, children, I didn't have him in my 30s. I had him when I found out my son was on the way at 41 years old. He got here. I found out at 40 actually, and he got here. And it just changed everything. When that child come up to you and grab you and hold you and just, he's 2. You know what I'm saying? He's just a baby. Like that, bro, that'll change you. And it'll make you look at things.
I say you're not a real man because you can't look at your seed in the eye and just walk away. You're not a real man to me. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not.
That's cold.
You looked your child in the eye and you were still able to walk away. Really now. This is why I keep telling
that's
men,
when I hear guys
I'm not
say
taking no more.
like,
I'm not taking any more excuses from these dudes. If you feel like that, go get custody. Fight for your kids. Y'all have to start fighting for y'all kids. Y'all know y'all got crazy baby mamas.
I'm gonna say it's 2 ways you look at that. Like, okay, this is my personal opinion, right? If I'm paying child support, I'm supposed to have some sort of visitation.
Right. That's why you keep her butt in court like she keeps you in court.
First of all, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know why people think this is different. Maybe I hadn't listened to all the YouTube videos. I'm sure some guy has some excuse. So I'm not gonna say there isn't an excuse for this, but I don't understand it yet. Why is it that a woman can be held responsible for sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray, right? But a dude can't be responsible for sleeping with a bitch that doesn't want him to be in his child's life. Like, okay, you chose Pookie and Ray Ray. You supposed to know at 20 years old that this nigga at 33 gonna be a sorry, lazy nigga that don't take care of his kids, right? You supposed to know that shit at 20 years old, 18, 19. No, you don't. You don't know that shit. I know, I'm gonna give you a great example. I know a girl, beautiful girl, everybody in the school liked her, real popular. She slept with a guy, he was a starting point guard for the basketball team, right? All American, everybody liked him. Everything had been given to him from 7th grade to 12th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
This nigga turned out to be one of the sorriest, laziest fathers you ever want to see. She raised that child by herself, and that child wound up signing with Vanderbilt, playing football. I think he played wide receiver, something like that, cornerback, one of them. But this child is from Montgomery. Now, he played at Alabama State, I'm sorry. But he's from Montgomery. And he, like, who would have knew that in 1993, who would have knew that this father was going to be trifling? He didn't know. She didn't know. And I just think it's kind of, that's what I'm saying. I just don't think she knew when she had that child. She had to make that decision at 18. They both did. But he chose not to be in his child's life for real.
And that's why I say, like, we have to, it's a situational thing. You have to really talk to people. You have to get to where their heads are. And like I said, if your whole thing is you just don't want to deal with it in the first place, I can't be mad at you for that. Can't be mad at you. Can't fault you for that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And to play devil's advocate here.
But the only reason, let me say, when you say case by case, this is what I would do. I would first of all look at where her head is at today. What type of woman is she? She could have made a dumb, stupid decision at 18, but okay, if she's 32 and she's still making dumb choices, then deuces. But you know, so it is a case by case issue. If a woman has her head on right, it's still a strike against her. But at least I know, look, I'm going into it. It's a ready-made family off the top, but at least, you know, she got her mind right. She, you know, her having this child kind of sobered her up, and now she understands the consequences of her actions, and she, you know. So I mean, it is what it is. And I'm sorry, but as much as brothers talk on YouTube, there's not a shortage of brothers that'll date a woman with kids. Believe that. Yeah. And I'm talking about when I say like date, I'm talking about like really be in a relationship. I'm not talking about just have sex with.
Right.
For all the brothers on the internet talking about having sex, that sister I was talking about a while ago that's real beautiful. Most brothers are being in a relationship with that sister because she was cold. And she's married now. So obviously she didn't have a problem with getting a man.
Like I said, but like to play devil's advocate though, like a lot of dudes, the difference between the dudes that's saying, hey, I'm doing what I got to do. I'm taking care of my kids, whatever. They don't seek recognition. Women, I hate to say it, but a lot of times we seek recognition for taking care of our kids by ourselves. A lot of men that I know that have custody of their children, they don't say nothing to anybody about it. They're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just taking care of their children. A lot of single women want validation, like, oh, you're doing such a great job. Oh, good for you. You didn't let that hold you down. You didn't let that hold you back. That's all fine and dandy. But like I said, a lot what always what tends to happen to me from the way I see it is that that's why it starts getting positively reinforced, because it keeps being okay because you're doing okay. It keeps being okay that we having all these kids because we're doing okay. We're managing to raise them okay. We're still managing to raise, you know, good kids. We're still managing to raise kids that can be semi-productive in this society. So as a community, we keep just saying it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and it's not okay.
Yeah.
We can't keep seeking recognition and wanting to be recognized from doing the stuff that we supposed to be doing. You supposed to be taking care of your kids. That's no pat on the back. You had them.
Yeah.
What else is you supposed? What else are you supposed to be doing?
You know, that don't even cross my mind though. Like with my son, I don't give it thought. Like, okay, I'm a good father because I'm. You know, I don't know.
Like, I'm just doing what the heck I'm supposed to be doing.
I go have lunch with him every day. At lunch, I go sit. Oh, bro, I don't give a damn. Like, okay, I go have lunch with my son and play with him, and you know, and he expects me to come in there every day and play with. You know, people, oh, you doing too much. Like, I just want to love on him.
You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
and look, I had a thought and we moved on too quickly, so I'm gonna go back. to because we were talking about the dynamics of the family situation, and somebody left me a comment today, last night and today, and they were absolutely perfect. And he says something that I didn't even think about. Like, a lot of men take in consideration the stepfather part. Like, if I choose to have children with this woman now, especially if the child's father is being active, now I have to deal with not only him, I have to deal with his family. I have to deal with, shuffling kids around and all this other stuff. Some men are not comfortable with that.
I mean, it
They're just
depends on
not.
what type of guy she had a child with. I mean, if she had a child with a street nigga.
Right. And
Me
that's
and
what I
him, me
told
and
him.
him.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I
be honest
told
with
him.
you. I've dated
That's what
women
I
with
told him.
kids, and
I
it
told him that some men need to stop, like, if that's a concern, like I said, we have to start looking at this at a situational basis, and not because, unfortunately, we have so many single mothers in our community. Like, I know that a lot of dudes don't feel like it's their responsibility, but that's why I say you don't have to date them. Nobody said you had to date them.
yeah,
But are you telling me that you're above being a mentor? And
yeah,
but you know the sad part, somebody actually told me, yeah. Somebody said yes. I asked that question and he was like, yes,
yeah.
because
That's
they
that's
basically felt like they were still being the cleanup man because that's their father's responsibility to teach them how to be a man. Okay, the daddy not there. You're a man. Teach him something. Take him under your wing. Come pick him up every now and again. Nobody said you had to be with the mama. Nobody said that. And ladies, let me say this to the ladies. If you got that type of brother trying to be in your child's life, stop trying to F him. Because I know that's what y'all doing. Stop trying to do that. He don't want you. If he wanted you, he'll be trying to get at you. But he wants to spend time with your son and your kids because he knows that they need him.
yeah, that's great.
Right. But yeah, I legit had somebody tell me, yeah, it still wasn't their responsibility to be a mentor. I
I
was
mean, I
like,
had a
dang.
guy like that. I'm gonna say this. It's
Mm.
that's a complex statement because I look at it like this. Like, and I did a video about Wakanda and how Wakanda, if you've seen Black Panther, Wakanda
Mhm.
chose to stay away from a lot of different African people throughout the diaspora. And a lot of people were upset about it. And I felt like I was kind of double standard with it. I was like, yeah,
You
I would
saw
have
both
done something.
sides.
Yeah, I was like, okay, do something. Like the guy that was from Get Out that played
I know who you're talking
uh
about. I saw the movie.
yeah, that
I don't
guy, he
remember
was
the
like,
names. I
look,
know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
he was like, look, me and my men, we'll go out and we'll clean up the community, clean up everything because we see what's going on. We see the problems that African peoples are facing, but don't bring them into Wakanda. And I'm sorry, like a lot of brothers, I think a lot of times we need to have that mindset. Like, okay, look, I ain't say marry the woman,
Exactly.
but
Didn't
you
nobody
can
say
go
you had to
out.
be with her?
There's a lot of things you can do. Like
Right.
I did a crump battle thing where crump dancing with the guy Tight Eyes from the movie Rise, Rize. He's from Montgomery, right? I flew him to Montgomery and I gave him. We did a show. It was like a crump battle thing, and all these kids were crump dancing and stuff and battling and stuff like that. And he gave his testimony. He was just talking about how you need to stay away from the streets and all that, right? And that's something I did. I spent money and I got some of those kids that came to that event and I mentored them. And I actually got one of them, drove them up here and introduced them to a guy who's a dancer for the singer Lloyd, right? And this when Lloyd was, still touring. And he was talking about going on tour with Lloyd. Now, this is a kid from Montgomery, Alabama that I actually grabbed and took under my wing. Now, I don't want no credit. I don't really care. It's not about that because that ain't gonna help me. That ain't gonna put me in a situation. I don't care about somebody coming in. Well, you're a good guy for doing. I really don't care. I just wanted to see the kid. I was talking to him and I was telling him like, look, man, you could do whatever you want to do. Because this kid could dance his ass off, like he could really go. And I was like, why would you be sitting around dancing in Montgomery doing nothing? Why don't you come up to Atlanta? And I introduced him to a guy, took him to this place, and he started dancing for the guy. And the guy was like, man, this guy can really go. And, he made a couple of calls and the guy was talking about coming up. And I don't think he ever went, but even still, he had the opportunity. And he was riding back like, man, I'm so glad you actually gave me this opportunity. I appreciate it. Brothers, I'm going to tell you this, man. Give back, man. Pour back into your community. Give your people a chance. Even if you don't want to be with the single moms, fine. Okay, fine. You don't want to do that. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to twist your arm. You don't have to. But give back. If all of us had that mindset, we wouldn't be where we are. We are where we are because a lot of people, I live in a nice area of Atlanta. I live on the north side. Like, if you're familiar with Atlanta, the north side of Atlanta's like crime is not as bad. It's, it's been times I left the door unlocked by mistake. I ain't got to worry about nobody coming kicking my door in the middle of the night trying to rob us. Not that we don't have crime, because you do have crime in the north side. But what I'm saying is, it's not as bad. I'm still like trying to do certain things because I feel like that's important for the community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that was the gist of this video, was just, look, let's accept responsibility for our communities. Here's like one of my favorite homeboys, Black Men Taking Back Our Communities. That's the name of his channel. If you haven't heard about it, real intelligent brother. Black Men Taking Back Our Communities. Me and him have done a couple of hangouts. Intelligent brother. But I agree with him. He actually had a cleanup thing he did in Houston, Texas, where he went into communities and did a cleanup of the communities. Then he did a book drive for the kids so they can start, reading different books and stuff like that. There's a lot of things we can do as Black men. Join the Big Brothers program. Join Big Sisters if you're a Black woman. But just sitting in your little comfortable job with your little education and talking about how all the people that aren't on Mount Olympus like you, that have risen out of the Black hood, and they're the nerds, and you're so much better, and you're not like Pookie and Ray Ray. You know what? You so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. And you really are a drag on the community. You're a pariah. You're not really beneficial to the people that really need these resources that you yourself have. So if you're not going to take these resources and this information and be a conduit and act as a conduit and give that information to the people within your community, shut up. Just shut up. Stop talking about the community. Just like I want you to stop talking about Black women. If you want to date your white woman and you're not going to really build, and in like Sister Ashley said, in 30 years, your DNA is going to be wiped from the face of the earth, at least your genotype. What good are you? So just shut up and do it. Like, you're not really one of us. You're a turncoat.
Yeah, that's why, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's like, because like at the end of the day, like I said, like I always keep saying, like, us as Black women, we have to understand and see where we're making our mistakes. And men have to understand and see where they're making their mistakes. Because we're all making mistakes. We're all misstepping somewhere, because if we wasn't, it wouldn't look like this. People wouldn't feel the need to complain so much. So somebody's not doing something right. And a lot of the times, like I said, what's happening these days with a lot of these guys, like, I know they don't want to admit to it. Like, they've been raised by single mothers, and then they had a mentality. Now they just had that mentality. It's whatever. I'm gonna take whatever. And it's just dysfunction. We keep passing down dysfunction. That's the only thing that we seem to be passing down, is dysfunction. We're not passing down any money. We're not passing down too much property. And if we pass down the property, all we're going to do is sell it. We're not passing down anything but this dysfunction. Even the people, to me, even the people in the so-called conscious community, y'all read all these books. Y'all sit up there and say the ancestor told you this and told you that. Okay, so the ancestor told you in these books, this was the problem. This is how you solve it. Yet and still, nobody is working towards really solving anything on a mass level.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say this, shout out to Edward Anderson. A Fashionista for Life, Nika Baby, Shy Scorpio. People actually, I'm sorry, I have not been on here. LAR Movement, what up? What up? Yeah, man, I like him, man. That's a real smart brother there. Almighty CJ. Let me see who else we got here. There was somebody else earlier. Doug. What's that? LTR Beelzebub. Okay.
Don't you hate when you get those weird names? Right. You be wanting to shout people out, but you like, oh man, that name. I don't want to butcher it. I want to make you feel
LTR
bad.
Beelzebub. And then this other guy, dude, what 212? What up, man? He be on here all the time. Shout out to him. Simply Deep 1985. What is up? But I hadn't been live in a while, man. I just been on here trying to, just say what's up to everybody, man, and just show some love to the people, man. I appreciate y'all showing me some love. Get the likes up, if you can, man. I'm not gonna trip about that, but like I said, I just want to show everybody some love, and I done took a couple of shots of Absolute, so a nigga feeling bionic around here. I got to go P9. So, any final words you want? Oh yeah, well, hold on. Before I do that, Edward Anderson, I'm gonna open this back up. Edward Anderson, did you want to jump on it? Anything? Because that's me and him talk all the time. I just hadn't talked to him in like a week and a half, but that's the homie. Shout out to him. I've been on a couple of his hangouts. If there's anything you want to jump in and interject, just say it in the comment section, and I'll email you the link. If you wanted to do something. So, but just let me know. I don't even know if Edward Anderson's still on here. Well, he come in about 8 minutes ago, so he might still be on here. But yeah, so you there?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate your opportunity. You gave a lot of great insight. I really don't think we really butted heads. I'm gonna tell you something about me. I don't want to have a damn hangout of somebody if I really got a problem with you. I don't know. I avoid a lot of conflict. I don't like getting into YouTube beefs and shit. I try to avoid it. It's not about being bitch made. It's just the shit is futile. Like it's just
no point.
It's counterproductive. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is one thing I've kind of ascertained about people on YouTube. Like there are certain people that as I listen to you, I try to get to the core of who you are.
Right.
And if you're a person who sees a world of scarcity, we ain't got shit to talk about.
Right.
Because I'm a person who sees a world of abundance. So you and I will clash. And I know that because I've done that shit in my 20s and 30s. I argue with people all the time. And I got to a point where I said, this shit's stupid. Like if you've been on Facebook and you've been going back and forth with people for years and you just get to a point where you're like, you know what? This shit's stupid. I won't get into no damn Facebook argument with somebody where we commenting for 2 days on the damn same post. Right. That shit, after a while, it just gets futile and stupid. Like I had a lot of white people have come in under that video, the videos I do about black intelligence, right? And a lot of white people getting their feelings about that shit. They really do. There are a lot of white people that really believe that IQ, DNA, genetic, black people are just naturally inferior shit. And they let us know. And these are millennials talking like this. These aren't these aren't old people from generation.
Teaching their kids
the
same crap. They're teaching their kids how to survive, and we're teaching our kids how to be easier slaves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the shit I'm talking about. Like a lot of kids, a lot of us as black people, shout out to Edward Anderson, say he might go live tonight. Let me know if you wanted the link, homie. But I would have dropped that shit. I'll drop it in the chat. I don't give a damn. I'm about to get off, but I'll put it in the chat. Shit, anybody want to jump on and say a few words right quick. But like I say, man, I mean, white people, it's like we're in a fight with people and people aren't really like throwing It's like, I don't know, a lot of black people refusing to throw punches.
Yeah,
And it's
I
like, we're
agree.
in a fight, we're getting our ass stomped. And you don't even want to throw a punch. Like, you just sitting there getting your ass whooped. Like, that's where I think we are.
Yeah. Because like I said, like we're that's what we're teaching though. Like that's exactly what we're teaching. With like it's like I said, when I came up, like I didn't have anybody really telling me, "Hey, you need to be about black people. You need to love yourself and you need to love every black person." Like they was telling me, "Oh, some, basically get in where you fit in. Go along to get along." That's what a lot of us are being taught, whether we come from the hood or whether we come from, a upper class, middle class family, you're still being taught the same thing. Don't ruffle too many feathers. Don't be too controversial. Don't bring up race. Don't bring up this. Don't bring up that. You have to censor yourself. Censor, censor, censor. Nobody else
Well,
has to censor
I'm gonna say
themselves,
this,
but
I'm
you
gonna say
do.
one thing I think we've also been indoctrinated with, and this is real talk. We've been indoctrinated with a hatred of capitalism. So
Yeah, I
if
can I can see where you get that from too.
we hate capitalism, a big part of capitalism is being an individual and starting a business. I'm sorry, I lean more towards capitalism than socialism. I just do. So you call me a coon, Uncle Tom, whatever the fuck you want to say. I don't give a damn. Call me what you want, but guess what? I believe you hear me. You hear what's coming from my mouth. You hear that I care about my people. But I'm still an individual. I still want to start a business. I want to make money. I want to make millions. I want to leave a destiny and a legacy for my son. And I care about the next generation, not just my son, but your children. You, the person listening. I care about
Right,
your children. I
right,
care about
exactly,
yours,
right? Like
Ashley.
I care about yours just as much as I care about mine. Like, look, because our kids got to grow up together. My kids have is going to have to. My child is going to have to grow up dealing with your child. If your
But
child
let
is
me say this.
ignorant
I'm gonna
and
say
my
this now.
child isn't, it's going to cause more disparities.
This is a deep point, and I was actually talking to O'Shea about this. He probably still asleep right now, but I was talking to O'Shea about this, and he made a point. We talked about this. Black people of a certain mindset need to come together and start looking to have their children breed and marry.
Right,
And the reason I would say that is because you can't ensure that your child is going to have a child or marry an individual that is, first of all, has a high IQ, has moral values, have certain, you get what I'm saying? And that's
yeah,
important.
right,
And we need to start becoming more selective as to who we have our children. Because think about it. Right now, the way it is now, if you're black, your child goes out in the community and they pretty much marry and date whoever they want to marry and date. It's
right,
not about, and you just leave it to chance. You just hope that child, so they go to damn Club 112 one night or the damn compound, and they go up in the compound one night and meet some nigga. You don't know his, he was
pedigree.
molested at 5 years old, and
Right,
the nigga got an IQ under 70 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And you mess around and have a child with these dudes. And that shit, and we need to stop that. We need to wean out a lot of this shit. And the best way
right,
to do that right now is for black people to start going back to the old ways of prearranging our marriages and being more selective, like the Jews. And we need to breed out a lot of this mediocrity. It just needs to
right.
be bred out.
I agree.
That's real, man. They say that the wealthy marry and breed for families. Like, what's your
Right,
family name? Your family
right,
heritage. The
right,
middle class, they marry and breed for income. What type of
right,
job do you have? The lower class, they marry because you got a fat ass and a pretty face, or you ripped and got a big dick. Like, it's real small minded stuff,
yeah,
And so that's been the problem with us. And most of us, a disproportionate amount of us, are in that lower class,
right.
and it's
And
really
that's what
pulling us down.
And this is why I don't like reality TV, because to me, reality TV is saying, yeah, look at these people. They still have money, but they still out here acting like the lowest of the lows. You supposed to have money, you supposed to have class, but you're still out here throwing drinks on somebody and you're 40 plus. and
Yeah.
people are going out and thinking that type of thing is acceptable. Like
Yeah.
I was watching this woman called Lady Mocha on here. She made a video that the first like 30 seconds of the video was some overweight older black woman basically twerking. The lady got like she could do a gosh darn handstand. I don't even think I can do a handstand. She got up there and did a gosh darn handstand. You hear nothing but women in the background talking about get it, get it, get it. I didn't hear it, but it makes me want to go back and listen to it again. One of the young lady holding one of the maybe it was the young lady holding the camera, or maybe she was just around it. She talking about some go mama. This is the
Yeah.
type of stuff that we're passing down.
Yeah.
That
That type
type
of
of ignorant
DNA,
crap.
that DNA needs to die off. I'm sorry. Like, we got to get real with some people and just, you don't need to be reproducing. You got that type of mindset. You
But
don't. Like,
unfortunately, those are the main people that's reproducing. People that have their minds together are out here saying, I don't even want to know. I don't even think I want to bring kids in this crazy world.
yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Almighty CJ say you finna be his wife.
That's what a lot of people say.
You're not gonna be single long though. You got a good mind on you. So a lot of brothers like that.
Well,
Like
I
it's
probably
you know.
will because I'm me and I'm weird like that. So I don't
But yeah,
know.
man. Elwood Anderson gonna be on here in a second, man. But like I said, like I say, man, I think we need to really start weaning out who we marry, who we interdict. Like if I knew my kids' parents, like if I knew, like I got a homeboy. He went to Tuskegee. He's an executive. Like he was making, like I know he's making damn near 200 some thousand or more a year. Like he worked for Hewlett Packard, right? His wife, she went to Tuskegee with me. She's a goddamn veterinarian. Okay, I would. That's how I am with it.
Oh, I'm like, what happened? It just went out.
That's who I would want my son to get with. You know,
But like I said,
somebody
we
that
don't
has
think
that
about that
type of
stuff.
mindset.
But we don't think about that type of stuff. Like we don't even think about that type of stuff. We just do not. That type of thing never crosses our mind. What are these people? What are they people like? That sort of thing never crosses anybody's minds. Never. Until it's too late, obviously.
I mean, but let's be honest. You know how expensive it is if you have a baby by Boom Quisha? Ask Terrell Owens. Ask Terrell Owens, who made all these millions of dollars. What would it cost you if you have a baby by about a wrong woman?
Everything.
or a woman. Let's say your daughter. I'm gonna give you a good example, and this is not a child, but what's his face? Usher was sleeping with this female and gave her herpes, right? Her parents are both doctors, like high earning. I ain't talking about no little volunteer cheap doc. I'm talking about some big high end doctors that live in Atlanta, right? They wanted their daughter. They groomed their daughter to be like almost royalty and wanted her to, not virtual royalty, but they wanted her to have a productive life, and they wanted her to get with certain guys.
They were the example of black excellence, and they was trying to make their daughter black excellence. That's what that was.
Exactly. And she went and Usher gave her herpes, and now she probably ain't no telling that. Like her name and got out. The problem is
she's about to get dragged forever.
Yeah, like, and that's the problem. It's like she's suing him now for millions of dollars, but the problem is she's ruined that. You know, if their parents had a choice, they would have rather her just dated another doctor or engineer or lawyer or, you know, a database guy, whatever, but just somebody that's productive, that wants something out of life. And that will probably fix 90% of our problems if we breeding. I know we probably, but see, the problem is, and what's his face? I think it was the other day, Neo got into it with Lil Duval because Neo made a post talking about, hey, let's be faithful as husbands and really be faithful to our women. And Lil Duval went in on Neo. Talking about, when Neo, didn't you cheat on your wife a while ago? Like, okay, you did something years ago, so now you gotta never speak on it the rest of your life till you die. Like, that's how people are. That's the logic, right? You did
Yeah.
something one time, so go ahead. What's up, boy?
I was just, letting you know I was here. Hello. Who do we have here? Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ashley. That's the man. We got a big guest on here.
Yeah, I actually found your channel. I actually have to put you on my list of I got this list of like black women that all women should follow. So rather than me saying something, if you hear from another sister, I got about 25 YouTubers on there, and I found this. Oh yeah, I like this. And after seeing this interview, yeah, you're gonna be etched in permanent marker on that list, cause
You should go check out Lady Mocha. Like legit, like she got a lot of sense. Somebody
yeah,
put me on to her, and I was like, dang, because like I said, I was watching that video, and like everything that she said, and it was so on point. It was ridiculous.
Ashley's so modest. She don't want nobody to give her props. Every time somebody give her props, she talk about somebody else.
hey, but modesty is
Hey,
a love.
you got it. I'm saying that's actually a good trait to have. You real modest. That's good. But I was just noticing that about her.
But no,
Mhm.
I got a chance to really go through a lot of your videos, but I have the ones I have seen were great, and there's a lot more sisters out there than people think that is, on, like, they're obviously black women and unapologetically so, but they are accountable. They understand the nuance, the wisdom of everything. I call them the like Judge Hatchet. Like, you ever see that show like Judge Hatchet?
Yeah, or
Like,
judge,
oh,
or I like the judge on paternity court, the judge on divorce court.
Oh yeah, she be going
that's
in.
that's the
Paternity
one I'm
court be
talking.
going in.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm talking about. Because they'll get both sides. Because
yeah.
if the dude is as bad as the woman say, judges are like, why are you with? What did you see him at first? And then it's funny how a lot of the women either don't have nothing to say, or what,
Right.
because they know what comes out of their
They
mouth
be
is
like, I
going to
don't know. A lot of them say, I don't know.
be
Yeah, I know
exact.
you don't know.
So if I call you somebody a Judge Hatchet, that's like the best compliment I can give. And Judge Hatchet is very attractive, by the way, for her age. Yeah, very good.
I think the lady on paternity court is beautiful.
That's the same.
Yeah, she's so dark skinned.
Yeah, that lady,
That the
she is beautiful.
with the short hair.
No. This lady got long hair.
Okay, divorce court. Divorce court. Oh, by the
No,
way, Byron.
paternity court.
Oh, maternity court. Oh, I haven't seen that show.
Yeah, check it out. It's on YouTube.
Right.
She go in on them too.
She go in on
Like
everybody.
when people, yeah, she go in. If you ain't you doing them kids wrong, you gonna get it.
Right. Because she's just like me. Like, I don't give a crap about none of you adults anymore. It's about these kids. What are y'all doing about these kids? Because right now, y'all living life all types of jacked up. And the only person that it's really, really affecting is these kids because they just going to grow up and continue to do the same crap that you've been doing. And that's what's the problem.
Well, the issue is, regardless if people have kids or not, a lot of black folks don't want to grow up.
I
Black.
agree.
I mean, y'all were just talking about the breeding and stuff like that. Here's the thing about that, Sub-Zero. Black people think in race, we don't think in culture. And what you're talking about is a cultural mindset that African Americans don't even think on that dimension. See, me personally, and the way I think about it, because this goes to what y'all was saying about having kids and not having kids. And there's certain cultural things that if I see that in you, I'm gonna take the kids off the table. Let's say if you got kind of like the Jill Scott kind of syndrome, where I meet your family and I see it's nothing but women and the dudes in there pretty much pseudo got their nuts cut off, and I see all that anger, matriarchal stuff. I'm not gonna deal with somebody at that point because I know the apple doesn't fall from the tree. And the reality is, I look at certain cultural traits like cultural diseases because I know that will be passed down. Those mentalities will be passed down. So if you've got certain cultural things, to me, that's like, I always tell brothers like this: would you knowingly have sex with a chick that had herpes or had AIDS? And they'll say, no, I wouldn't at all, no matter how fine she looked. Okay, you essentially do that when you are having sex with these women and you're not evaluating their character. And the same thing is in reverse for a lot of women. A lot of women are having, because dudes are just as bad with it. Let me say that dudes are just as bad with it, because I always make this comment that a lot of black men are looking for their manhood in a woman's womb. And a lot of dudes cannot look, if they cannot say, do I even like this woman if I don't want to sleep with her? A lot of black men can't decouple that. And that's an issue with black men. So let me say that first. But at the same time, a lot of women, because our women are trained that they can do it on their own, and that's what they're trained to think. They don't come out of the womb thinking that. They have this mentality that, well, I just need a dude for good dick because everything else I can handle on my own. And then when life actually catches up with them, and then they kind of get to a point where they realize they need a dude, well, at that point, they either hit their mid-30s or they got more than one kid. Because I know Zero, they got one kid, you let them off the hook, which I understand that. I get that. But then they say,
no. I said that a woman that has one kid made a mistake and she's adjusted and accepted that she made a mistake and it's still a strike against her. Once you have more than one, now you're getting into dangerous territory because now you're like, okay, well, shit, did you learn from the first time? What are you doing? That's where I started like, wait a minute, something's wrong mentally. But the first child, I do give a little grace for one because you've tasted of the mistake and you should adjust. If you don't, because I make mistakes, we all have made one mistake. I give you one, but not two or three because now you're starting to say, okay, now I see something else.
But here's the thing. I understand that, but at the same, here's the thing. It's a difference between, okay, what is the posture and what is the policy, and then what are exceptions that are made like after the fact. Like, you know how when people say, okay, would you vote Republican or Democrat? And they never put like a candidate. They just say just off the fact that they're Republican, Democrat, who you vote for. And certain people say, okay, I'll vote for them just on that. And then when you add the candidate, whether it's man or woman, whether they got kids or whatever, then people make different decisions. You still have to have a certain policy that really it's dysfunctional to have kids out of wedlock, because if you have that, then even the ones that have one kid won't pass that down, because they'll at least own it. I'm not saying if you have one kid, you deserve, horror.
No, that's the central point I've been making. We've both been making, everybody on his phone's been making all night, is that's a strike. That's not something that is, it's cool. It ain't like Fantasia out here with making songs and proud of that shit. Like, no, fuck that. That's wrong.
Definitely a mistake.
But that doesn't mean, I'm just saying, that doesn't mean she ain't shit till she died because she did that at 18. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. And all I got to say is, because I know, Jason Black is my boy, and you said that Jason Black said that, and that's not really true. If you actually listen, and I'm gonna forward you the videos, because he locks some of his videos up. A lot of women will challenge him and say, are you saying that means if you had one kid that we ain't nothing? And Jason Black has had about 6 or 7 of these types of videos, and those are always, he methodically explains what he means when he says that, and pretty much what he says. Have you heard this?
Yeah. He said, he pretty much says, no, it's not, but it's a strike against you, and you have to understand it, basically.
Yeah, and what he's really saying,
because he always, you know how Jason, notice I didn't make any distinctions. You know how he talk, right? And I'm like, damn, he's making no distinction. He's not trying to say,
he's just an intense dude. I've noticed that. He's just intense.
But now I will say this. If you notice, though, when it comes to like the way he deals with dudes, even dudes that get on the phone, he doesn't have that I'm going to explain it in methodicals. He just stays on that same thing. So my only point is this, because I don't want to belabor that, is there's a difference between having a policy. Like, for instance, Umar Johnson, look, Umar Johnson is not like my dude or anything like that. But Umar Johnson says, I have a policy that on policy, I don't respect black men that are not with black women, that do not have black children as a policy. That's a great policy. Now, granted, you got people like Byron Allen, who is demonstrated he's put his own money up to sue the government for black people to have more real estate on media. You got people like Don Peebles, that have gone out of their way to give black people contracts. And yeah, they're with white women, but they got so much stuff they done put in that they deserve to get kind of an exception, because you can take them on their work and their work alone. But but as a policy,
Nate Parker's another example.
And that's the same. with women that have kids. Now I'm gonna tell you something that I want to add to that because I don't want to belabor that because you already talked about that. This is why I think brothers are completely full of shit on. And this is where I get into the church kind of thing, even though I'm a Christian. Do not say that black women should not have any kids for you to get with them, and you have a problem with a woman that's had like an abortion. Because my thing is, I understand how people feel about abortion on a religious sense, but you cannot double penalize a woman because she said, okay, I got pregnant, but I'm not gonna have this kid because that man was not worthy of.
Well, hold on, Elwood. Hold on, Elwood. So basically, what they really want is a virgin. That's what they want.
Okay, well that's not logical. In today's world, good luck with that. That's all I'm gonna say with that. I mean, good luck getting a woman that's like had less than 10 dudes. You know that you just go out and make an exception for that and understand it's 2018. But my point is, when dudes say that and they try to double penalize a woman, now that I'm uncompromising. I'm like, then you might as well go get a single mother then if you feel that way. No, I don't want a single mother. And then it goes back to what you said. Well, see, that's not realistic. That's just not realistic. You're not, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I also look, man. I'm gonna expect you. I had a homeboy of mine back when I was in high school. I got a homeboy of mine that when I was in high school that was like a real high up guy, ranking guy in the gang, right? So he had a lot of guys up under him, and they had this little fight thing going on one time. So he was like, man, I'm gonna go out here and put in work. I'm not gonna ask them to do something that I didn't do myself, that I'm not willing to do myself. Right? That's honorable. That's real leadership. That's how you lead. Now I don't co-sign gangs at all. But what I'm saying is, if as a man, if you're asking a woman to be chaste and not been with a lot of guys, then you need to do that. You need to not be had unprotected sex with women. You need to not be done all these things. And if you did, then by default, you a hypocrite. You just are. Like you can't say you're not a hypocrite either.
Yeah,
so it's like
about that. They don't care about being hypocrites. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out. But yeah. So
well, look here, man. I done had a couple of shots, man. I had a couple of shots before I got on here, man. I got to go pee and I got to lay it down because I got to go work in the morning.
It's late.
I enjoyed this, man. Ashley, that was great. I enjoyed it, man. Elwood, man, I would have saw you. I saw you coming, but I didn't go check YouTube till like a few minutes ago. Like I really, when I get on here, I'm on my cell phone. I'm on my cell phone. So on my cell phone, I don't really look at the comments like that. So
no,
as I'm looking right now.
Had LAR come through. You had quite a few people come through. Like I said, Ashley, we always love getting definitely women, on board, because I do believe there's kind of like a lot more women that think like you do that are they just don't talk because other women, the board will come get them, like they came got Aisha Curry and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I personally believe this is where, and I want to end it with this, like at least on my part. I personally believe because some of that stuff you were talking about what black men need to just swoop in and just fix the community just off GP. We can talk about that later. But this is where I do agree with. I do believe that black men need to, number one, build an infrastructure above all else. Number two, what we need to do is for the women that are, they understand that the only way black people are going to come up that is if black men and black women work together and understand that your best route is to negotiate with black men. You know what I'm saying? And not try to act like they on this other, like I'm black, but I'm a woman first kind of stuff. As long as the black men do what they need to be doing, we need to overprotect those women. And then we need to let these women know we got their back. We need to show that we're going to build, and we need to do that first. That's what we need to do. So black men need to get much about the now what conversation. Stop complaining about what women are doing. Women are going to do what they do. Now you need to build up your own stuff so we can then go to the women like that list that I had, April Mason, Kimberly Fraser, all of these women. We can say, look, if you speak up more, we got your back. We're not just going to leave you out in the cold. And I'm talking about not just emotional support or verbal support. I'm talking about money. Like, actually, I'm a bigger person in giving women, Mr. Researcher kind of bite me for saying it, because I do give brothers on a Patreon, but I look for women's Patreons to support, like Nicole's View and stuff like that, because I let them know there is a market on the men's side for women to preach truth to power, like Rebecca Lynn Pope, Nicole's View, Kimberly Frazier, April Mason, Art Cathy, you know, and I try to, because when it comes to these young black women coming up, you cannot expect men to just make the change. They have to hear it from other women. They have to hear the choice from other women. You cannot counter a Crystalline Karazin with like a BGS. You have to counter a Crystalline Karazin with a Rebecca Lynn Pope.
Let me say this about Crystalline Karazin, man. She coming back. I don't know why everybody's dancing like the witch is dead. She's coming back.
She is coming back. And the thing is, and here's the thing, that's fine. She can do what she wants to do. I'm not on this.
Let me say this. The reason I'm upset about it is because she's getting a lot of free publicity right now. When she comes back, she's probably going to be twice as big as she was because of all these videos talking like, okay, well, her model didn't work. And like, you talking greasy. This lady had a lot of sisters. I've had sisters come in my comment section and talk like they really are behind this, you know, this swirl shit. So
women, as far as I'm concerned, my policy on black women swirling is, if you can get a white man, go get him. If that's what you want, go get it. My problem is, stop trying to say you getting a white man because the black community ain't shit. And what happens is, but because sisters that want to swirl, this is the difference between sisters that swirl and sisters that interracially date. Sisters that interracially date do it quietly. And the reality, because they just saying I'm going to the highest bidder, but they still understand that they black, and I give them, you know, key on that, because they don't throw brothers off under the bus. But what happens with a lot of sisters that swirl is swirlers become invested in the narrative that black men ain't shit, and that's why I'm swirling. And they never want to say I'm swirling because I just want a white guy. That's my problem with that. So then all this stuff about black men are bad fathers, black men are this, it's black men's fault that they do what they do. It's just them not taking accountability for what they really want. Look, man, when black men, sometimes black men do that too with black women, but when black men get a white girl, they usually own it and say, that's what I want. You can hate me, but that's what I want. Women don't tend to do that, this swirl. They tend to want to be like, well, you know, I would be in the black community, but the Blackistan. So anyway, as far as Karazin's concerned, though, what we got to do as black men is we got to get behind a woman like an Ashley W. or all these women I mentioned and let them know, look, there is a market for black women that are black women, but there's a market to negotiate and say
the common denominator is really caring about your community, which is the gist of this video. Really, just to go out here and really if you care about your community, you'll accept responsibility, but you won't accept blame. It's different, and then you know that's different. That looks different. Look here, man. I got to go, man. I got to go to bed, bro. I've been on here 50 times, man. Hey, I enjoyed it, Ashley. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I appreciate it. Ashley, you know, I enjoyed this, man. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. You know, hopefully we'll do it on your channel one day.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I just wanted to get this out, man. Get this started. Get the conversation going. Everybody, and thanks Edward for jumping on. Is always entertaining with Edward. So, but yeah, man, that's it, man. Thank y'all for hanging this video up, and I'll see y'all later.
Peace. Love you.
All right. Same to you.